Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever Impact Venture Challenge. I'm Ebenezer Dagu.
And I'm Dylan Thomas. And together with Professor Brian Nejma, entrepreneur in residence Peter Greer, and three fellow students, Curtis Evie, Arebe Musangwa, and Dan Clemente, we've built the first ever Impact Venture Challenge. We're proudly supported by the School of Business Education and Social Sciences, as well as the Office of President Phipps.
We're also sponsored by Jared Heinsohn with Earth, Turf and Wood, Marlon and Doris Thomas with the Willow Valley Associates, and Anthony and Jessica Thomas. These generous sponsors have made it possible for us to have the first ever Impact Venture Challenge.
Now, after months of workshops, business plan writing, and revenue model testing, our 6 finalists are ready to pitch their businesses to these 6 distinguished judges, as well as each of you. That's right, each of you are going to have a say in who wins tonight via the text-to-vote system.
Now, without further ado, let's welcome our judges onto stage to introduce themselves.
Judges, could you join us?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christopher Tassi. I graduated class of 1997 from Messiah College. I am in the manufacturing business, and we manufacture candles out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Good evening. I'm Ann Dieter Gallagher, and I'm not going to tell you what year I graduated. Honored to be here. I am owner and CEO of a public relations, marketing, social media firm.
Hi, my name is Elise Beeler. I graduated in 2006 from Rice University in Texas. I work as an associate director at Merck, and my connection tonight is through Peter Greer. I also serve as the chairwoman of the PA Regional Board for Hope International.
Good evening, my name is Matt Zieger, graduated in 2001 from Messiah College. I am the vice president of the Forbes Funds, a foundation in Pittsburgh, and we launched the first impact investing fund in Pennsylvania just about 9 months ago, so we're excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Caroline Maurer. I am the dean for the School of Business Education and Social Sciences here at Messiah College, and I also will not tell you when I graduated.
Hi, I'm Rusty Leonard. I had 2 children who graduated from Messiah College, and I'm not going to tell you when I graduated either, but you can tell by looking at my hairline, it was a long time ago. And not to mention the gray beard. But I'm the founder and CEO of Stewardship Partners, which is an investment management company that specializes in what we call biblically responsible investing. And my wife and I, Carol, who's out in the audience here, we founded something called MinistryWatch.com, which helps donors to Christian ministries have a resource to go to understand how well that particular ministry that they may be thinking about donating to is doing. So hopefully those things will be of use, and thank you very much.
Now we're going to hear from Peter Greer on a few introductory comments about impact investing and the millennial generation.
How many people love the show Shark Tank? How many people don't love it? That's almost everyone. And why do you love the show Shark Tank? What do you like about that show? Can't hear you. We're giving away prizes tonight. We're giving free Bantu coffee for the first couple answers. Is that what we're doing? What do you love about the show Shark Tank? What is it about that show? The ideas, right? Incredible ideas. You get to hear about creative people with creative ideas. What else do you love about it? The possibilities, right? These are normal people, and you see what happens. What else do you love about it? Watching people squirm. We're going to see some squirming tonight. How many people are excited for that? I love the show. I love watching it with my kids. But there's one thing, as I watch Shark Tank, that kind of doesn't hit me quite right. And it's Mr. Wonderful. Now, Mr. Wonderful is someone, if you've seen the show, who oftentimes makes a name for himself with these wonderful comments. Can I read a few of my favorite quotes from Shark Tank from one of the judges? This is what he says. He says, "The only reason to do business is to make money. That's the only reason we do what we do." He also said, "Business is war. I go to war every day and I want to kill the competitors." Isn't that a nice, happy, cheery thought? He said this, "You may lose your wife. You may lose your dog. Your mother may hate you. None of those things matter. What matters is that you achieve success and become free." Now, how many mothers here are excited to hear that? But it's not just the attitude of one judge. Even Mark Cuban, one of the other judges, said this. He said, "Go out there and get rich. Get so obnoxiously rich that when the tax bill comes, your first thought will be to choke on how big a check you have to write." Mark Cuban and Mr. Wonderful have an idea that the only purpose of going into business is to maximize the amount of financial money you can get out of a transaction so that you can enjoy yourself. Now, if that's the model of business, if that's what we're replicating in a Shark Tank or a Falcon Tank tonight, then I would say the motto tonight should not be Christ preeminent at Messiah College. It should be cash preeminent at Messiah College. And my guess is that we shouldn't be in a chapel as we gather together if that's what this is about. If it's about pitching business ideas so that we can help a few people get rich. I believe there's a new movement underway. And the reason why I am so excited to be here at Messiah College is I believe that Messiah College is part of this new movement. It's actually not a new idea. In the very opening pages of the Bible, I believe we get a different picture of the purpose of business. In Genesis 2:15, when God is in the very idea of breathing and creating, he says, "Tend the garden." He has given us certain things, and he has invited us to be co-creators with God. And at the very basic level, we get to see this. Every time we get to take a seed, we get to plant a seed, and we get to watch things grow. This very world is full of incredible creativity. And I believe the role of business broadly and the role of what we're talking about today is not about shareholder return as the only measuring stick. It's about maximizing the good and fulfilling our calling that we have. I believe that business is one of the most powerful tools in the world for us to fulfill our calling and to impact the world. It's about creating jobs. It's about being co-creators with God. It's about being stewards of what we've been entrusted with. It is about impacting the world. And so tonight, the format with judges, the format of hearing some incredible entrepreneurs, it might look like Shark Tank, but I believe what we're doing tonight is so much more important and so much more powerful that you are going to hear for some talented entrepreneurs that are in this because they believe this is how they reflect the Creator who gave them breath. It's about doing an incredible amount of good, and I am so thankful that all of you are here. A couple just final words. The first word is this. This is a time where you're going to hear individuals pitching businesses, but I got to tell you, this event was organized by some incredibly talented entrepreneurs, and you heard already from Ebenezer and Dylan. I have worked with a number of students. I don't know that I've ever met two more capable entrepreneurs who have been behind tonight. And I'd love if you could thank Dylan and Ebenezer as well. Thank you guys for doing this. The other thing that I love is even in this room, I don't know that I've ever seen an event at Messiah College that has brought together alumni through the mentoring of some of these social entrepreneurs, bringing together faculty. We have an incredible group of judges that are not going to talk about entrepreneurship. They have lived entrepreneurship. Their stories are incredible. And tonight is a conference from entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. And I believe this is part of something at Messiah College that when people think about Messiah College in the future, I think they are going to think this is a place where individuals fueled and motivated by their faith are creating real, sustained, powerful change in the world. And tonight, you and we get to be a part of what I believe is only the beginning of a really significant time for Messiah College to be known for creative kingdom entrepreneurship, and I am so thankful that you are here. Lastly, we have Mark, our own version of Mark Cuban. This individual who's going to be emceeing tonight has had several successful tech startups. He's not very good at basketball, but he loves students. He has been the passion and driving force along with Dylan and Eby. His name is Professor Brian Nejma, and I am so thankful for his leadership within entrepreneurship. And could you welcome our MC for the evening, Brian Nejma.
Thank you, Peter. What a delight to see everybody here. The balcony's full. It's a glorious night for Messiah College. How exciting it is. This event was born just 3 months ago, and so a lot has happened in a little time. I want to add my welcome and thanks to the students and faculty that are here, parents, I see many family members, the sponsors that were already so noted for making the Impact Venture Challenge a reality. I want to thank President Phipps and Dean Marr for their encouragement and support in making this event a reality. A special thanks to the organizing committee and for Peter Greer for serving alongside of me and the committee, and to accounting professor Kathleen Johnston, who's in our midst, for working with the teams on their financial models. Thank you for your efforts. I've been at Messiah College for 13 years, having come from a career as a tech entrepreneur. When I came to Messiah College, I dreamed about the possibility of faculty and student teams launching business ventures that were focused on both making a profit and making a difference. I had a vision to do a faith-informed business plan competition at Messiah College for some time now. But like any good entrepreneurial venture, it takes a team to turn an idea into a reality. When Dylan and Ebenezer came into my social entrepreneurship class last spring and this fall, I sensed we actually had a divine appointment to team up and to launch the Impact Venture Challenge together. This event was born out of a project that these young men did in my social entrepreneurship class. Thank you, Eby and Dylan, for your faithfulness to this idea. Tonight you will experience 6 unique and beautiful portraits of a typical Messiah College student. One who lives his life grounded by their Christian faith, is highly entrepreneurial and fiercely independent in their critical thought process, and sees their God-given giftedness and academic talents as vehicles to make a difference in the world by addressing some of the most pressing issues facing our society today. I hope you're inspired by what you experienced tonight. I actually pray that it marks the launch of several ventures that purpose to make a profit and make a difference in the world. Just by way of rules and background, just so you know, in advance of tonight, each team submitted a formal business plan. That plan was evaluated by the judges you see seated before you. That accounts for 70% of the final score. 20% of the final score will be a score that the judges give based on the pitch that's presented tonight. And then, yes, indeed, you, the audience, will have a chance to make a final 10% difference in who wins via text-to-vote option at the end of the night. The format tonight is really simple. Each team will be given 6 minutes to pitch their idea, and then they'll be asked 3 questions from the judges, each a minute to be asked and a minute to be answered. That's tonight. Let the competition begin. Okay, first up, and by the way, hello out there in Webland. I know we're webcasting. It's great that many of you are able to join us over the web. Beautiful thing. First up, Bantu Coffee. Bantu is a subscription coffee company that invests in small farmers. By delivering specialty certified coffee directly to your doorstep, Bantu Coffee is hopefully able to fill a role in the ever-expanding coffee market. Not only is Bantu Coffee a great tasting and sustainable sourced cup of joe delivered within the utmost convenience to the consumer, the company also invests in Uganda small coffee farmers wishing to create a prosperous life for their families and their communities. Bantu.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jonathan Hershey.
I'm David Whiting.
And I'm Tyler Hershey, and along with our co-founder, Andy Agaba, who's here with us tonight, we make Bantu Coffee.
Coffee for the people, by the people, a subscription coffee company intending to give back.
And tonight we actually have a sample of one of our specialty coffees for the judges to sample. And then I would like to start out tonight by introducing you all to Jane. She's a farmer and entrepreneur from Uganda, and just 3 years ago, her life looked very different. She struggled to send her 4 children to school, and she had barely enough income to support the needs of her family. However, she did not lack drive, but only the resources to make her dreams become a reality. And then in 2012, she became one of Hingham Microfinance's first loan recipients. With only an initial investment of $300, she was able to have a payoff of $800 in only 6 months. With that money, she was able to pay off that loan and then reinvest into her exciting business idea where she was able to buy 150 chickens, allowing her to send her children to school and keep them in school, and then reinvest into her business idea further. It is because people like Jane that we believe that sustainable microfinance loans are one of the best ways to fight abject poverty throughout the world. And when those loans are coupled with the engine of a profitable business, we believe that our idea becomes unstoppable. And that is where Bantu Coffee comes into play. Because of our coffee, people like Jane have the opportunity for a better life, and then they have the opportunity to spread those benefits to their family and their surrounding communities. For that reason, and for many others, we believe that you should invest in us and our exciting business venture.
3 trends affecting the coffee industry today are that people care about quality, they care about convenience, and they care about sourcing. And Bantu Coffee is a company that intends to address all 3 of these market opportunities by providing quality subscription, or quality
Subscription coffee.
Yeah, quality subscription coffee to your doorstep conveniently, and we are specialty grade coffee. Not only that, but we have fair trade cooperatives around the globe that we're partnering with to source our coffee, and we can promise that with our nonprofit partner, Hingham Microfinance, we can provide 52 trees for coffee farmers in Uganda with each of your subscriptions.
Now, each team that made it to the final round was given $250 to invest in themselves as they saw fit. We decided to use this money to market ourselves. Since then, we've hosted 2 coffee parties, one in our hometown of Mifflintown, Pennsylvania, and one at Cedar Grove Church, where we were able to market our product to 30 or 40 different people. At the Mifflintown Coffee Party, we actually offered single bag sales, and we sold out. This means that we were able to make over our investments in single bag sales alone, along with gaining multiple online subscribers.
And we learned things from these coffee parties. In the first one, we learned that our price points were simply too high, and we needed to lower our price significantly to remain competitive and still keep our profit. Additionally, we learned that some people were unable to make a full year commitment to our coffee, so we began to offer single bag sales on our website where you, or all of you out there, can go to bantucoffee.com right now and buy single bags of coffee. Additionally, we learned that, like Tyler mentioned, if we bring the coffee to our coffee parties, that's just 15 extra people that have our coffee, that they're trying it every day and they're gaining exposure to our product.
With the leftover money, we also decided to implement an incentive program here on campus where if a student was able to get a family member or family friend to subscribe to our coffee, we would give them a $10 gift card to anywhere of their choosing. Now, the numbers here tonight aren't the same as they were originally in our business model. That's because since then, we've been able to cut a deal with our roaster, thus making us even more profitable. With these new numbers, we believe that we're going to be profitable after only our first year in business, and we're confident that we're just going to continue growing. It's actually our goal to someday buy our own roaster, and if we're able to do this, we'll be able to slash prices even more and be even more competitive in the online coffee market today.
But we also have plans for the $5,000 if we're to win it here tonight. For the $5,000, with $1,000, we would like to be able to provide free coffee, free samples to people where they can try our coffee without having to make a financial commitment, and we don't have to foot the bill of a full bag every time we send our coffee to somebody. Additionally, we'd like to be able to send our coffee for free with another $1,000 to people that are willing to host these coffee parties for us so that they can essentially act as brand ambassadors for us and help people gain more exposure to our product. And finally, with the final $3,000, we would like to continue the incentive program that Tyler talked about, but only this time with coffee, where if you get a friend to sign up for our coffee, we would like to give you a discount on your next year's subscription. And in the long run, we'd also like to bring tech into the equation where you could go on our website and look up exact places where you could buy your Bantu coffee, such as our first committed retailer, Bread of Life Restaurant, near Tyler and I's hometown of McAllisterville, Pennsylvania. And additionally, we would like to develop some kind of customer dashboard where you could go online and see how you're helping specific farmers with purchases that they want to make, such as more coffee trees.
And so that's an overview of Bantu Coffee. We're growing in both publicity and sales, and we see no end to this growth. We're excited about what the future holds for us, Bantu, and the many communities and farmers around the world who benefit from our profits. Thank you so much for listening to our pitch. Do you have any questions about our exciting business venture? Oh, yeah. Ooh, the wrestling. You did great. Well done.
So, great job, team. I can attest that they do have delicious coffee, indeed, if you're wondering. I think you guys did, so there's a few things about your business model that I really love. I love that you have a subscription model from a financial viability perspective. That's a great way to go, so I was happy to see that. I think the incentive program that you guys have implemented is also a really unique aspect. One of the questions I have is around I guess, your competitive advantage and the 52 coffee trees that you want to plant. I guess my first question is that what the farmers need the most? My second question is, logistically, how does that actually work? Like, how do you ensure that you're not actually creating more work for the farmers by adding that? So I would just like to hear more about kind of why you chose that.
Sure. Well, because through our studies that we did, we found that 85% of Ugandans make their money through smallholder farming, and also a big cash crop for Uganda. In fact, the top 3 is coffee. So that's what a lot of these farmers are looking for, and Hinga works with a lot of coffee farmers already. And essentially what they're looking for is, new coffee beans, and that's one of the ideas. And then we can ensure that through Hinga. I've volunteered for Hinga for a number of years in the past, and we can ensure that these coffee trees will get planted and they have the structure in place to be able to do that.
And then the viability there is because we purchase our coffee in bulk, we're able to then buy those coffee trees and then give them to the farmers. So we actually, in that way, we have make a deal sort of in Uganda so that we actually have that ability to give those trees to them. So because of the way we buy our coffee and not exactly because of how we source it and how we buy it, when we get those large amounts of coffee with a subscription, we can then give those trees in a way that is helpful for the farmers and also for us. So.
All right, well, definitely good job. I love the coffee. It tastes great. I'm going to keep drinking it because it needs to cool down a little bit for me. But a question I have for you is, talk to me about production, right? Let's just say, utopically, you blow your first year numbers out of the water because you land a deal with 10,000 villages or something like that, or you have so many parties that, you've got, 1,000 subscriptions, right? Subscriptions, excuse me. Demands. How will you handle the demand?
Well, Tyler mentioned that one of our goals someday is to buy our own roaster. And with the roaster, we will be able to, produce a lot more coffee that way. And obviously, if we have 1,000 subscriptions, hopefully we'll be able to hire employees by that time that could help us roast the coffee as well. What's that? Sourcing? Yeah, and as far as sourcing the coffees go, we'd like to develop partnerships with a lot of other microfinance institutions as well in the long run that have showed us that they kind of have that Christ-centered impact, and they care about accountability and transparency and share the gospel as well. And we think that through that, if we're able to partner with other MFIs that have an impact as well, we'll have both the source and the scale. And we'll have cheaper coffee if we have our own roaster, which would be great.
Hey, you guys did a great job. Definitely a big fan of the coffee. Really love, as you can tell, my 2 coffee cups up here. My question for tonight is, do you have any cream? No, I'm joking.
Not really.
No, I really, I think the revision and pricing was really smart. That was one of the concerns that I had, is the price points you had, I think was great. But my second question, maybe comment, is about the story of the individual. You led with the story of the impact. It didn't necessarily come through as strongly in the business plan, so I wanted to hear you talk a little bit more about how you think you might use that as a competitive advantage, specifically since you referenced the use of technology to help tell the story of the impact in those lives, which I think as a customer of a subscription-based coffee service would be a compelling competitive advantage.
Right. Well, we dream, like I already mentioned, of being able to tell individual farmer stories on our website, and we think that would be very strong. And we've even, kind of thrown out the idea of being able to have farmers maybe write letters or somehow be able to communicate with them, which is not something we've been aware of. That's not elsewhere in the coffee market right now. So that's one of the dreams that we have. And then also, developing a blog where we can tell the stories of our farmers, and not only how microfinance has impacted them, but the story of how Bantu Coffee has specifically impacted them as well.
And then maybe even with our technology, we could increase the amount of updates you get. If you have a subscription, you can then go onto your login, and you will see updates about different farmers and what they've bought with the money that we've been able to give to them through that.
Okay, thank you, Bantu Coffee.
Yeah.
Our next team up is EMMS. EMMS, the Energy Monitoring and Management System, is a groundbreaking technology to provide energy solutions in developing countries. EMMS is founded on the need to manage the use of electrical energy in areas with limited access to this resource. They've developed a meter which educates users about their energy usage habits by both developing energy consumption details and allowing the administrator to manage the amount of energy that a facility can use per day. With clients in Burkina Faso and Zimbabwe, EMMS is already making progress on eliminating wasteful energy use. Welcome, EMMS.
If someone either intentionally or inadvertently uses too much energy, it wastes it for everyone else. And so how do you have that shared system but allow each person to use it in a responsible way? And that was the problem that we were facing when we contacted the Collaboratory. Hi, my name is Matt Walsh. I'm a missionary with SIM. I serve in Burkina Faso in the small village of Mahadaga. The mission station has been living with a combined shared solar system since 2007. But one of the limiting factors for any kind of renewable energy system is shared battery capacity. This problem doesn't exist only in our small area. It's kind of worldwide with shared solar energy systems. There is no solution on the market that can currently do this, and what EMMS has been able to develop is really the industry standard right now.
Hello, we are the Energy Monitoring and Management System team, and we're providing a solution for this very real problem in developing countries. My name is Carrie Musa. I'm a sophomore electrical engineer.
I'm Nathan Cheney. I'm a senior computer science computer engineer.
And I'm Ashley Evans, and I'm a senior mechanical environmental engineering major. So most of us sitting here today cannot imagine what it would be like to live with limited amount of energy available. In off-grid locations, however, this is a reality. And with this limited amount of energy available, it's all too possible to consume all the energy and to have a power outage sometimes unexpectedly. What is more, people in these locations generally have limited energy consumption awareness, meaning they don't understand how plugging in something like a cell phone charger affects the total amount of energy consumed. Our initial client, Matt Walsh, proposed that by creating a meter which could allocate energy and display useful information to the user, we could help to control and possibly eliminate these power outages. By doing so, we would enable students to study longer, technicians to keep working after the sun sets, and overall to improve development in these locations.
So for the past few years, teams of students here at Messiah College with the Collaboratory have worked to solve this problem. So last summer, we were actually able to go to Burkina Faso and deploy 4 prototypes, which you can see pictures of up there on the screen. So on the right, we have what we call the display box, which displays information to the user. So on the display box, it tells you how much power you're using, how much energy you have left for the day, and also other information like if you continue operating at your current consumption, how long you would have until you ran out of power. On the left, you'll see the control box. The control box measures how much power is used, and after the daily allocation limit is reached, it cuts off power to the building. Well, that seems like that wouldn't be something we would want. Here in the U.S., that'd be terrible. In developing countries, when they have a limited amount of power available, that's a really great feature because that enables them to cut off power before they damage solar batteries and helps to ensure that between the different buildings that the solar power is going to, it's all used fairly and equally.
So we currently have 4 prototypes of our meter installed in Burkina Faso for our primary client, and we've also been contracted for the delivery of 20 units for the Theological College of Zimbabwe, which is set to happen within the next 2 months. This past February, we actually caught the attention of IEEE Smart Village, a signature branch of the IEEE Foundation. Smart Village exists to provide non-government organizations with the resources necessary to provide energy in the world's most energy-deprived locations. And one of their huge visions is to also provide services that will increase the impact of this resource. So when they heard about the energy monitoring and management system, they were enthusiastic about our meter's potential to aid them in attaining this goal. We're set to meet with their senior program manager within the next 2 weeks to discuss further investment in EMMS.
IEEE has told us for every 1 solar territory, there is a need for up to 10,000 meters. And for every year, they are capable of supporting 10 solar territories. This means that there's a possibility of 100,000 meters per year for this client alone. By the end of year 3, our project hopes to achieve a modest 4% of this market share by supplying 4,000 meters to this client. In order to make our proposed jump from 40 to 1,000 meters in between year 1 and year 2, we hope to pursue a 2-part commercialization plan. The first part would involve directly contacting solar panel distributors. They would directly benefit from partnering with us as we provide a meter which would allow their clients to better control and manage their solar energy consumption. Our second part would involve utilizing social media platforms, creating a professional website, as well as putting advertisements in magazines such as IEEE Spectrum and other client newsletters.
So year 1 will be our test market year. During this year, we'll be focusing on the delivery of 40 units for our primary client in Burkina Faso. During years 2 and 3, however, we plan to launch our project as a separate entity in order to just sustain the demands of mass production. By the end of year 3, we anticipate an $800,000 revenue and a total net present value of about $84,000. Now, a portion of the $5,000 investment would be used to produce the 40 units for our primary client in year 1, but the remaining majority of this amount would be used for implementing our commercialization plan. We feel that this is key in order for us to make our statement in this market, in order for us to attain that 4% market share by year 3. It was actually recently determined by the International Energy Association that better management of the energy resources and revenues was one of the 3 essential key actions to improve the economy in developing countries. This is where EMMS is making a bold contribution. Thank you.
All right, another excellent job. Thank you very much for that superb presentation. And really, you've got it nailed from top to bottom as far as I can see. So very good job. The one question I had as I was reviewing your information is if any electrical product or any computerized product, I'm sure everybody in the audience can attest to that, people find a way of messing them up, breaking them, they don't work the way they're supposed to, you plug the wrong thing into the wrong place. There wasn't a lot of talk about how you're going to support the clients if you have 4,000 of these boxes out there. Some of them are just going to break down because they weren't manufactured correctly. People just do dumb things. You can count on it. What did you build into your financial statements for the costs of maintaining client service and warranties and things of that nature? Did you give any thought to that? And if you did, what might that have been?
Well, that is a really good point to bring up because right now what our model is we kind of are the ones who go in and we install the meters. And we also teach the users how to use the meters, but you're correct in that when it comes to mass production, we don't get that personal client interface. Part of our financial model does cover depreciation, but what we would end up doing is right now our target market is working with non-government and nonprofit organizations. And their goal isn't just to provide a resource. They want to provide a resource and the services, to help with the impact of this resource. So that's something that we would have to really just implement in our structure is when we hand these meters off, we're not just handing off a product, but we're handing off a product with just the understanding that the delivery of these meters by these nonprofit organizations is not just a, here you go, here's our product, but it's also a teaching method that the organizations that have our meters would share responsibility with.
So this morning there was an article in the Harvard Business Review about the keys to social enterprise and the application of kind of an existing technology at a low cost point into a vulnerable population that really improves their lives were kind of the key metrics of what they said made a great social enterprise. And so, one, just kudos to you. It's a really great application of an existing technology that really can change a lot of lives, hundreds of millions of lives around the world. And I know you've thought about this and been inspired by it and inspired us by it tonight. So my question is really about, your price point was a little bit higher than what you said was kind of the other used technology. And so have you thought about domestic application that could offset that price point for emerging markets?
Unfortunately, people in the US probably aren't that interested in a device that could help cut off power to their house. But something that we are we have looked at the competition, and unfortunately for us, there really isn't a whole lot of competition that does what we do. So there are a couple new companies like Steamco and Lumeter, which are working on similar solutions to what we're doing, but they are focused on different applications and in different continents. And we're also not marketing this to the end user, we're marketing this to nonprofit organizations, non-governmental organizations, which we think will be better able to afford the slightly higher price.
Thank you for your presentation. It was very nicely done. I am wondering how you're going to make 1,000 units in the next year. Are you going to hire like everyone in the collaboratory to work for you, or?
Yeah, that's definitely been a behemoth of a task, and we've been really excited to, look at the different ways that we can do that. So currently, the way we operate is we're operating within the collaboratory. So it's a team of engineers who are, pressing out these meters. We're using 3D printers that, honestly don't work too well. So when it comes to mass production from 40 to 1,000, we're planning on implementing a structure where we are operating as an entity separate from the collaboratory. So the operating cost for that would just include, renting space, renting warehouse space. It could be cheap for the first year because it's just 1,000 units, but after a while, we'd have to upgrade to new spaces. It also involves hiring a management team. That's an ops manager, an assembler. We've investigated that as well. We've also investigated mass production. Ashley can probably elaborate a little bit more about that.
Yeah, just to add on to that, we would plan on outsourcing our circuit boards. There's a bunch of companies that you can outsource to, and they can make them by the thousands, as well as the enclosures. It's possible to do that. We're still, one of the hurdles I think we have left to overcome is just like the assembly part, but I think there's a bunch of companies that we can look into for that as well.
Thank you. Our next team is Hometown Hope. Hometown Hope utilizes reclaimed materials such as pallets, old barn wood, and other recycled materials from construction sites and donors to create custom rustic furniture that's available at an affordable price. The purpose of Hometown Hope is to restore hope in their community by providing temporary employment to men in their local rescue mission. As they work alongside these men, they aim to help them grow spiritually as they learn a trade, such as carpentry, that may benefit them upon graduation from the mission. Just like the materials they use that have plenty of left, so do these men. Hometown Hope.
My name's Trevor.
I'm Craig.
My name's Brad. And with Skylar in the crowd, we make up Hometown Hope, where hope is carefully crafted. Our company uses recycled and reclaimed material to produce custom rustic furniture, and we believe it's available to the consumer at a competitive price. We do this by partnering with a local rescue mission who provides us with employees as well as a fully equipped wood shop. Recycled goods and rustic furniture is a growing trend among female homeowners between the ages of 25 and 55. We will market and sell our products via our website, hometownhope.com, Instagram, Facebook, and consignment stores, of which we already have 4 eagerly awaiting our products. With an unlimited supply of wood pallets and wood donations from 4 construction companies in the Baltimore, D.C. area, we are able to keep our material costs low and pay our employees very well.
Not only is Hometown Hope a profitable business, but we are a positive impact business. With 500 million pallets manufactured in the United States each year and thousands of homes and barns being demolished, there is a surplus of material that is forgotten about and dumped into landfills. With wood being the only 100% recyclable material in the world, we have the opportunity to take nothing and make something special out of it. Moreover, our partnership with the Westminster Rescue Mission allows us to pour into men that have also been forgotten about. Just as the material we use has plenty of life left, so do these men. Hometown Hope gives them a special opportunity, an opportunity to develop skills, learn a trade, and work alongside the Hometown Hope staff in our goal of growing closer to Christ and exploring what it looks like to be Christ in the Christian workplace. Why invest in Hometown Hope? Not only are you investing in a furniture company, you're investing in the lives of those who made the furniture. To hear more about their story, we have attached our own Hands and Materials certificate to each product to demonstrate the impact you are making in their lives by purchasing one of our products. Additionally, we have 2 wood shops. We have sold 12 products within 3 months to turn a profit of over $600. We have 8 items on pre-order and 12 items that are currently in production for consignment stores.
So talk a little bit about the finances. Right now we're operating at a 36% profit margin, but also it's key to point out too is that we're paying our laborers well. We don't want to take advantage of them. We want to make sure they're getting a fair wage, not minimum wage, fair wage, that when they leave this rescue mission, that they're able to stand up on their feet, and we give them a nice foundation, a good foundation to go out and use this trade and even sometimes work at Hometown Hope. Right now, we're projected to have a 290% profit increase over the next 3 years. Rustic furniture is a very popular furniture right now, and we can see this trend continuing, and we are eager to see what's going to happen in the future. Each year, we're planning to add new products, and after 3 years, we're ending up about $28,000 of net profit after all taxes and everything. So this company has a lot of opportunities and just a great future ahead of it, along with the men that we're working with at Hometown Hope.
So now we'd like to give you an inside glimpse of the dream of Hometown Hope becoming a reality.
I'm Skylar, I'm 22 years old, the co-founder of Hometown Hope with my brother Trevor Felkner. We created Hometown Hope because we saw a need in our community. We saw guys that, for whatever circumstance were in a bad way. We just felt that through Hometown Hope we could help restore that community and bring those guys back into it. We just started partnering with the Westminster Rescue Mission. We got a handful of guys, some awesome guys. We're going to employ them part-time as we need them and kind of get this thing rolling. Our long-term goal is to be able to employ some guys full-time, get them back on their feet, get them building a reputation in the community, and mainly get their relationship with the Lord right first. We use reclaimed material because we feel that where most people see our material as useless or trash, we feel as if that wood still has value. We feel that we can connect that to the guys we work with. They might be a little rough around the edges. We know they still have value.
Hi, my name is Edward Ostrowski. I am from Harford County. I've come up here to the mission to get closer to God and help me get victory over an alcohol problem. A lot of the guys up here on the mission come here hooked on drugs, selling drugs, never having any type of employment, no job, no skills. So with this wood shop and the woodworking that would be going on, who can imagine what some of these guys will go on to do if they build up their self-esteem? This is a new way of life for them.
I'm most excited about, getting in and building this business. I'm excited that I get to build relationship and with different guys all the time, and through growing this business, enable lives to be changed.
So, thank you very much. Judges, we'd like to hear from you now.
Thanks so much. That was a very powerful presentation. I really appreciated the video that you guys put together as well. I think that the hands and materials certificate that you guys have as part of your business plan is really special, so I hope you keep that. I think the question that I have for you is twofold. So as a female between 25 or 25 and 55 that owns a home, I've bought a lot of furniture in the last few years. And so the price points that I saw for your items are so low. It's such a deal. So I guess I'm curious, why only consignment locations as your primary retail site? And then my second question is, I noticed in your financials that you have a percentage of your profits going to a savings account. Could you elaborate on that as well?
For starting out with consignment stores, I'll answer your question this way. Our long-term goal is to have like a Hometown Hope building where people come in, they sit down, we design the furniture. In the back, the wood shop's going on. There's guys there, have had a rough past, and they can see the guys, working and building their furniture. But, to get to that, we wanted to start small, and we thought one of the best ways to reach out and sell furniture without just walking down the street and opening up a store and saying, here's our furniture, would be through consignment stores. And in our area, especially in the Baltimore, D.C. area, there's a lot of consignment stores. To answer your question about our target market, 25 to 55, we contacted many consignment stores. A lot of the stores already had a huge market for this product, and that's what they said their main target market was, and the main customers were females 25 to 55, so we were kind of sticking with that. And but yeah, for consignment stores, I guess that's our answer for that. Any other questions?
The savings account, what that is we found that we went to the rescue mission, we couldn't pay them directly, so we still wanted to help them out some way. So we decided that we'll set up a savings account for them. That way, once they go through the whole program of the rescue mission and they come out, they're just not out with nothing. We gave them the savings account that they've saved up and earned that they can start with to go somewhere.
Right. We're not allowed to pay them directly at the mission because the mission's a nonprofit organization, but upon graduation, we're able to give them that lump sum that they've rightfully earned.
Good. Congrats, gentlemen. I love the idea. I love the story you presented. I really like the tagline. I bring a marketing branding lens to this, so I'm always drilling down deep in the business plan. For what you've got a logo, you've got merchandise, which is also a marketing opportunity for you to sell your hats and your shirts to further finance this. I think the best businesses, or the quickest way to profitability, I'll say, is to start close to home, and that's what you've done. So you've filled a need by teaching these men, adding skills to their skill set and giving them a hand up so they can, leave the rescue mission and earn money. Can you go a little bit deeper on your marketing tactics? You had a broad brush there, but did a little research. You have 261 Facebook fans, which is good. So your Pinterest, your visual, which is awesome. You want to show that, especially to the age group you mentioned. Any other tactics, like how will you get your story out? You have the video. What are your plans to getting that out in addition to your pamphlet?
A lot of it is going to be telling a story. People love to tell a story, and we, at the beginning, are going to rely very heavily on that. And that's the purpose of the hands and material certificate. That's the purpose of the brand that is in each piece. Our logo is actually branded into each piece we sell. So that can be in itself a conversation starter in people's homes. Someone comes in, they see this table, or they see the coat rack that we've made for them. They see the brand, and now this person can tell the story, not just I bought this at IKEA, but this is Brian who helped create this, and these are Brian's dreams, and this is where Brian is going because of this. So at the beginning, starting small, our plan is to rely heavily on word of mouth and telling a story, as well as our our presence on the internet with our website.
Can I add to that? Additionally, to add on how we're going to get our products out there and market them, we're in the process of developing like a smaller product line of coasters, business card holders, office organizers, drawer organizers, desk folder organizers. Just a lot of products, I guess, in the business realm, and we're in the process of opening up an eBay store, and we can ship currently through our website, but having smaller items will, allow us to ease into the shipping process and spreading our business and making it larger.
I love your tagline there, the integrity, passion, thankfulness, particularly thankfulness. It's something that really more of us need all the time, and it's very fitting for what you do as well. Love the hats, love the shirts. You guys did a good job there. I'm sure the coasters will be great too. But one of the things that, and this is true for a number of the groups, judges were talking a little bit beforehand, it sounds like you have a fantastic model here. You're throwing off a fair amount of profitability, but your overall revenue numbers are still very small. Do you guys dream bigger than this? I hope somewhere along the way, as you guys thinking, well, we're kind of put together this little small business, but this could really become big. So what are those big dreams that you might have that would take you beyond just what you've got on the spreadsheets?
Our goal is, one night for the 5,000, we'll buy a drum sander that will increase production incredibly. It will cut labor in half and increase that. We can put out more products, and we can also hire more people from the rescue mission. Also, 10 years down the road, plan to open up our own store. That way, people can come in, have a cup of coffee, and just meet the workers, buy places there to have that downtown. Anything else you guys would like to add?
Yeah, I would just say, we mentioned it in the video, but our long-term goal is to be able to employ, men full-time. Right now it's part-time, and, eventually full-time, and be able to produce more products and grow in that way.
Okay, thank you, Hometown Hope. There are seats up front if you guys want to come in from the hallway. We have plenty of seats up front, or at least some. Okay, our next team, Jack's Packs. The core business starts with a simple idea, a backpack. They're a business that wants to further educate students on different cultures, helping them to excel in school. They will be selling backpacks to initiate funds to provide students the opportunity to attend after-school programs that educate them on cultures from throughout the world. They chose to sell backpacks because they're the ideal reference to education in school. These are backpacks for change.
Hi, I'm Garth Martin.
I'm Josh Good.
And I'm Jack Burgess. We became friends freshman year of college, and we are Jack Packs. It has always been a dream of mine to start an organization that would help underprivileged people and bring about a positive social impact. The problem I kept running into, though, was how could I do this and how it could be done. There are approximately 16 million children in the United States alone living in poverty. 22% of these kids are living in houses with an income below the federal income line. What we plan to do, in the past 2 months, we have met with Downey Elementary School in inner city Harrisburg. We met with academic advisors and teachers and spoke with them to have them voice what they specifically need and what the general need is in inner city schools. What we found was we created a short-term goal. The first goal is donating 25% of the profits that we get from selling our backpacks to give books to kids to take home. Our long-term goal is initiating programs similar to Lead in Me and Together for Tomorrow, which help kids take control and go and take initiative in their academic status in school. So why buy a Jack Pack?
All right, so let's talk about the Jack Pack. So why you might want to buy a Jack Pack. So here we got 2 prototypes for you to take a look at. Just some things I want to point out. It has a flap over top, as you can see in both backpacks. This one's held in with a button. This one is held in with the toggle system. Also, it has a cinch that pulls it tight on top. It has a pocket in the front and 2 pouches on the side for water bottles if you choose to put some in. Also, it has enough space to hold your books and also a laptop pouch in the inside because most college students carry laptops. So that's just some unique things about the Jack Pack. But if you do choose to buy a Jack Pack, you're doing more than just buying a backpack. You're providing students, underprivileged students, with extra educational opportunities by the books that we donate to underprivileged schools.
So as Garth mentioned, we plan to target college students for two main reasons. One, college students tend to be aware of social issues, and two, they tend to be on top of the latest trends. The Jack Pack fits this niche because it is both trendy and has a great impact. What we plan to do in our first year is to go to market with a price of $64.99. We believe at this price we can sell 1,000 Jack Packs in our first year, meaning we can generate a revenue of $65,000. With $65,000, this is where we start to get excited about Jack Packs. We believe that we can give away $7,500 in books to kids in need in our first year of operations alone, meaning we will give away 1,500 books. In other words, every time you buy a Jack Pack, you're giving away 1.5 books. Now, as we move into year 2, we plan to transition our marketing strategy to be an ambassador program on college campuses across America. This is how the Jack Pack is going to start to take off. We're planning on coordinating with a male and a female on college campuses to kind of be a brand rep for Jack Packs. In this way, they will have a Jack Pack. People will see their Jack Pack through social media and by asking about it, envy it, hopefully. And then through that way, they are targeted to our website, in which they will then purchase that Jack Pack, and hopefully the brand spreads like wildfire across college campuses. And that's kind of our vision as we move into year 2.
By year 2, we believe that we can sell 3,000 Jack Packs. We believe that we can do this through means of the ambassador program and social media, which I think such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, which we have developed ourselves in already. By selling simply 3,000 backpacks, this will supply 4,000 books that we can give to underprivileged students.
Okay, so moving into year 3, we really think that our brand's going to take off, and we think that we're going to have an established, recognizable brand. So in year 3, we hope to sell 6,000 backpacks. How we're going to do that, we're going to expand into 2 other models. So right now, this is the original Jack Pack. We hope to move into a professional Jack Pack and a children's Jack Pack. The professional Jack Pack is going to be an all-leather Jack Pack for professionals, sold at a premium price. The children's backpack is just going to be a smaller version of the original Jack Pack. So how we're going to be successful, just to demonstrate, in a matter of 2 short months, we've already made contacts at Downey Elementary School in Harrisburg. We've made 2 prototype Jack Packs. On Facebook, in a matter of a week, we've already have 400 likes on our Facebook page. So just to demonstrate kind of how much we've been able to do in two months, just imagine what we can do in a few years. So with the $5,000, we're going to do one of 2 things. We're going to finalize our product, and 2, we're going to start producing Jack Packs.
So now's our shout out to the audience. We want to give the audience the first chance at the pre-order of the Jack Pack, which will be $20 with a complimentary free t-shirt. So if we win the competition tonight, meet us in the back and you can have your first chance at a Jack Pack that we think is going to take off. Deuteronomy 15:11 says, "There will always be poor in the land. Therefore, open wide your hand to your brothers, the poor, and the needy."
We're more than just backpacks.
We're backpacks for change.
All right, so the reason why I'm standing up is because when we read the business plans, you're doing it online, you don't get to see the backpack. So I want to touch the backpack before I make a question. This is good. No, I understand, I got you. Are they waterproof?
Not yet. The long-term plan.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to be Debbie Downer.
No, it's fine. We actually just picked this one up at like 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, nice.
So we were really terrified to spray it with waterproof and then it turns a different color or something. So.
All right, so I got 2 questions for you guys.
Yeah, sure.
The first one is, where are these made? For $65, are they made in the U.S. or are they made overseas?
Yeah.
Oh, I have your mic, don't I?
What we plan to do is, we thought long term we would like to produce these potentially overseas in maybe a developing country setting where we can pay them fair wages. Right now, starting out, we think realistically we're going to have to produce them with a manufacturer in the U.S. We're assuming a $35 price point that we can produce these for. This backpack was made for $35, and this one was made, this Jack Pack right here was made for $60, and those are just prototypes. So we feel we can go to a manufacturer, set up a contract for $35 a Jack Pack. Right now, we don't feel like we have the necessary skills to go to a developing country, set up a manufacturing site to get into that. But by year 3, we would like to start producing our own Jack Packs with our own Jack Packs manufacturing plant, essentially.
Cool. And I know that I'm cheating. I have more than one question. great concept. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think that the philanthropic portion of it is spot on. The last question I'll ask is, I grew up with an LL Bean backpack. Why would I buy yours? I still have my LL Bean backpack, and it's warranted for life.
Well, I mean, one thing, everybody needs a backpack for school. So if you're buying a Jackpack, you're also at the same time providing students with books. So you're providing them with extra educational opportunities. Our short-term goal is to provide books, but we do hope to get more involved in the education system and provide, or to help coordinate programs like Jack had mentioned. So that just is one thing, and it's a great-looking backpack. So.
Love the idea, love the branding. I'm going back to the logo and the branding here. Immediately recognizable, and that's what you want. You want to stand out. I'm also on the board of the Salvation Army, and we are in Downey Elementary School 5 days a week. The Salvation Army does, and I think we partner with a lot of young people at Messiah. Last year, Salvation Army gave 1,800 books to Downey. So have you researched and just make sure that you're not duplicating services with existing orgs that are in there? That's one question. Second question, go a little deeper. Your business plan was very professional. Kudos. There was a very broad marketing brush, like we're going to market on Facebook or social media. And the reality is, to sell a price point of $64.99 or to sell me a professional one, I may not be on your Facebook page, but there's other, lots of public relations opportunities, things like that. So.
I can touch on the first part of your question, then I think Josh will take the second part. So the first part, we actually went to Downey 3 times. One of those was service day, so we kind of spent the whole day there and helped serve. But over those 3 visits, we were able to talk to several teachers. And the thing that they said is, a lot of these students, they don't have the financial resources to get their hands on books that they can take home with them. So that's kind of the difference that we're providing. These are going to be books that students are going to have that they can take home, that they can call their own book. So it's not just a textbook that's staying at the school. It's something that the kid can call their own. And I don't think having too many books is a problem. So.
I think also to that point, we kind of established Downey as our breeding grounds for where we start this. I think it's important to remember that literally this idea started right over there in that portion of the room, right there, only about 2 months ago. And so it's all new to us too. And so Downey is kind of our breeding grounds for where we kind of perfect the system, but then we go to other elementary schools. It's not just Downey. As the Jackpack's brand grows, we hope to take it to areas where the Jackpack is at, so we can impact schools in the local areas where the Jackpack is sold. I mean, and there's never a shortage of need for books, so even in developing countries, I mean, this can spread worldwide. People need books everywhere, so that's kind of to that means. And what was the second part of your question? Sorry. Marketing?
Go deeper on
okay.
marketing. In addition to a Facebook, if you're going to reach out to professionals, how are you going to reach them?
So definitely through all the social media sites. That's a big one just because we're mainly targeting college students. But secondly, as we develop the professional Jackpack, I think we're going to want to develop a very professional but also easy to use website in which we can direct people to. I think other ways that we could market is through I think even billboards for a professional, like showing someone wearing the Jackpack as they commute to work with the all-leather black or brown Jackpack. Different avenues as well. Do you guys have anything else to add there? Yeah, I mean, we're heading in that direction. We haven't perfected all our marketing techniques, but yeah.
I think the biggest thing with that is we're really focusing on the original Jackpack, and then as we kind of propel forward, we can
seek other options.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, great presentation, guys. Kudos to you on the prototype design. I'm sure that was tough to pull together, so really well done. Jack, you seem like a nice guy, but I'm blown away with a guy named Josh Good in the group that it wasn't called Good Packs. I mean, really, come on. So I was really interested in, it's a really interesting business model to kind of take the 25% of profits, but I'm really interested in hearing more about how have you thought about integrating that into the actual business model? Chris touched on it a little bit with the integration of the sourcing or materials or production. So can you tell us a little bit more about how you might in the future integrate this impact, integrate this social impact, integrate education of children, other things that are relevant to your business model actually within the business model and not just as a tack on and a donation on the top?
So kind of how we're integrating that with our business.
Yep.
I think one thing we had talked about is maybe like promoting it just on our website, just pairing with like a Scholastic or someone like that. So to kind of bring the backpack and the education system together. But we just kind of see the backpack as a staple of education. So that's kind of where we tied the two together. I think that can answer your question. I don't know.
I think also just in the way that we market the backpack itself with its packaging. I mean, I think you definitely put just in the tag itself, like making that a huge emphasis that with this backpack, you're purchasing 1.5 books for a child in need. Also through, sorry, I was looking at that. Also just through the way that we market it on social media as well. And so many different ways. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We welcome to the stage Opalop. Opalop strives to close the divide between persons with disabilities and the rest of society. To do this, they design and provide training programs and job opportunities to individuals with disabilities to help foster marketable skills that can be used to secure jobs in the workforce. They will offer programs in many industries, starting with the restaurant industry. As these individuals become employed, not only will their self-actualization be dramatically heightened, but those without disabilities will also encounter and experience new relationships through working with persons with disabilities. Welcome, Opalop.
Thank you all for coming. My name is Luke Gibson, and I'm a sophomore accounting major.
And my name is Matthew Rice, junior international business major, and together we are Opalop.
See, we believe that individuals with disabilities are capable of developing highly marketable skills that can highly benefit society, but we are seeing they are being marginalized and not being used by society.
The USA unemployment rate for individuals with disabilities is twice as high as the unemployment rate is for individuals without disabilities. Therefore, our organization will provide job opportunities for these individuals with disabilities to help them grow in themselves and so that they can participate in society. Ultimately, we want to provide these opportunities in many different industries, such as the restaurant industry, the cleaning industry, and the lawn care industry. We want to meet these individuals' desires and needs with a channel through which they can appropriately and passionately succeed in the work they enjoy.
As a starting point, though, we are starting with the restaurant industry because that is where our background best lends itself. You see, in high school, I started my own individual meal and catering business called Lazy Sunday Suppers, and I nearly went to culinary school. However, therefore our plan is to open a restaurant in Lancaster, an Italian fine dining restaurant, where we can train and employ individuals with disabilities, where they can learn the traits of the restaurant industry.
So once these individuals complete training programs and once they have experienced a significant amount of growth in the job industry, they will then have one of two options. Number one, they can apply for a job in a pre-existing restaurant, or they can continue to work in our restaurant, where they can possibly serve as coaches for new employees. Now, we've only been developing this concept for about 2, maybe 3 months, so we've done some basic research and planning for a restaurant in Lancaster, but the majority of our focus and planning has been on organizing and developing prototype dinners to help test market viability and provide validation for our organization. These prototype dinners are structured in a way that will resemble how the restaurant will be set up.
You see, we hosted our first viability dinner about a week ago at a church in Lancaster, where we invited 50 specific guests from the community of Lancaster to be our guests for the night. For this event, we partnered with Friendship Community, who is a nonprofit organization based out of Lancaster, who provides housing for over 150 individuals with disabilities. And at this event, 14 of the residents served with us to help serve food, prep food, clean up, set up, and do all the other tasks, including centerpieces and even providing the entertainment for the night. For this event, we spend nearly $600 for the venue to provide gifts for them and for basic food costs. But we were able to collect donations of $650, so we were profitable, but the point of that dinner was not to be profitable, it was to test the concept of our viability, which we were successful in.
However, our second prototype dinner, which will be held in Lancaster in October 2015, will be to fundraise our organization. We will invite 250 to 300 individuals from Lancaster, and we will charge a flat fee of $10 per customer. Based on this, and we expect to have revenues of just under $3,000 for this event, and based on our first prototype dinner, we expect that expenses will be just over $1,500.
Because of the success of our first event, we are confident that the second larger dinner is the next best step for our organization. After our first event, we talked to our guests, and they expressed how much they love our concept and are truly passionate about the vision we have. In addition, they expressed how they were so impressed with how well the entire event was, the quality of the food and the service. You see, just because individuals have a disability does not mean the food or the service needs to be compromised. We understand that our future customers will come to support our cause, but they'll come back and stay for the food and the service.
So after the dinner, I had a short, brief conversation with one of the individuals who worked. Her picture's on the board. Her name was Candy. And so we were just talking for a little bit, and then she explained to me how this was the first time in years that she was appreciated, recognized, valued, and respected in a working community. It's something that we take for granted, but these individuals are not given options for this. The social impact for our venture is exponential. To help you experience our organization and event a little bit more, we put together a short promo video of our first event.
Opal Op is an organization that strives to close the divide between persons with disabilities and the rest of society. To do this, we design and provide training programs and job opportunities for individuals with disabilities to help them foster marketable skills that can be used to secure a job in the workforce.
Well, I think it's an opportunity for individuals who will be able to show their skills and their capabilities along with people who have a need for what services that they can provide.
I think that the skills that you're asking people to perform, they can learn. And I think that they get excited when they can learn things and that they aren't frowned upon, but that they're it's an inclusive process. What did you go around and ask everybody at the tables with me? How was the food? And the food was pretty good, don't you think? You see a person that struggles in areas where you don't struggle. You see them try so hard. And when they reach their high potential, it makes you feel like you were part of a solution.
So what did you do?
Serve food to everybody.
You have quote-unquote able-bodied people with people that have struggles and have challenges. They are just mingling and enjoying one another and enjoying what they're doing. And if you're going to have a meaningful environment, I think it's all about doing meaningful work.
Opal Op, impacting people through people.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I'm the first question, and I'm sure everybody in the room agrees, and everybody on the internet agrees. That's a wonderful, inspiring thing that you're trying to accomplish here. And we applaud you and give you all the kudos in the world. It's just a really touching thing. I grew up with an aunt who was mentally challenged, and she had an opportunity to do some work out in the public, and it was extremely useful and meaningful for her and build up self-esteem in ways that couldn't otherwise. So, fantastic. Excellent idea. Talk about impact. Massive. So, really appreciate that. Now, when reading your business plan, however, I was like, wow, they're biting off a big thing here, going for the fine dining right away. And one of the models that you had in the plan was a cafe in Maryland, I believe, or something like that. So that's obviously a smaller scale thing to start off with. I'm just curious how you guys struggle with the idea of where to start. Why jump right to fine dining? Why not start with the cafe, make that work, take the next step up to a casual dining thing, and then maybe it goes. How did you work that through when you were trying to figure out what you were going to do?
Yes, we discussed many options, and fine dining is a bit ambitious. That's not our immediate plan. We do have a plan to do some more prototype dinners and test it and spread it. But the reason we chose fine dining is for the reason that if we can train these individuals to work in fine dining, teach them techniques such as serving people to the right, taking their plate away from the left, where the forks and knives go, how to pour water politely. If we can teach them all those techniques to work in fine dining, they could go out and work in any food establishment in the industry and from those skills, and they'd be probably overeducated and over-equipped with those abilities.
So I love people, and I'm in the people business, even being a manufacturer. And when I read your business plan, I had an idea, and it's a little bit different. So, and I'll share it briefly, and I do have a question in it. The talent pool that you're talking about is definitely untapped, and definitely needs to be better leveraged in the community. My thought would be, and my question is, would you consider, a restaurant is a huge undertaking, cost, time, the whole nine. Would you consider, you walk into my business and you say, I've got 3 people. I know your business well enough that you've got these 3 needs. And Johnny, Maria, and Susie can do this. They can put in 3 hours a week or 3 hours a day. And I'm going along the lines of a staffing agency. Because as a manufacturer, if you walked into my door and knew enough about my business and said, I've got 3 people I want you to employ, no brainer. But you'd have to have a level of understanding my business first. I think you guys could do that with this talent pool cross-sector with a different model. Again, I know that's a little different. What are your thoughts to that? Would you embrace something like that? Have you thought about something like that?
Yeah, I mean, when we were first discussing this entire business, we went through a lot of different ideas of, okay, our main goal is not to open a fine dining Italian cuisine restaurant. Our main goal is to train and develop persons with disabilities. So we contemplated several different ideas, and that was actually one of the ideas that we had seriously thought through. Our reasoning for not taking that route immediately is because we think that individuals can be more impacted if they are around the same people over and over again. If we can personally invest into them over the time of, the course of time that a restaurant would be open, day in, day out, we would be with them and develop them personally for long periods of time. However, since we've only been developing this business concept for just a little under 3 months, we are understanding that we do not know the market entirely. So if it comes to the point where we're hosting prototype dinners and we're saying, okay, this is great, these individuals are being trained, let's do this, but we need to find a different way to support the expenses, then we can go the route that you're suggesting and say, yeah, we can take our individuals and then implement them into other pre-existing industries to help them just accomplish the work. So that's definitely a consideration that we've thought over a lot.
If I could just add one thing. We do plan, maybe not exactly the staffing agency, but we do plan to create contacts with as many businesses as possible where they're not left on their own. It's not, okay, you get through our program, have fun getting a job. That's going to be very difficult and very brutal. So we want to, we talked to Garth Larson, the owner of Positive Vibe, similar prototype down in Richmond, Virginia. He said, instead of competition, think of it as collaboration. So we don't see the world as competitive. I mean, it is very competitive, and we need to have our competitive advantage. But we see it as we can collaborate with these businesses, because these individuals have abilities and skills and talents to service pretty much every industry. That's why we're not limiting ourselves. So we do believe that we can set them up, and that's a great suggestion.
My question was kind of similar as well, but first of all, I wanted to say, when I read your proposal, it was just filled with passion. You could tell that you were truly passionate about this, and so I really do admire that. And then your presentation was very inspiring. In your plan, you also talked about having a lawn service or a cleaning service as well as a restaurant. And a restaurant, to me, it seems like it is the most risky of all 3 of those. And so why did you choose to go with that one first rather than one that was a little bit less risk to start with?
Yeah, so one of the things that we were talking about is, unfortunately, we are not trained in special education, so we don't necessarily have the skill set to directly work with these individuals, which is why we're partnering with, for our first event, we partnered with people who are in the special education department, and they helped work with these individuals. So our main goal is that we want to see individuals be developed. And the reason that we're going for the restaurant is because Luke has some experience in the restaurant industry. He's worked at several restaurants before, and like you said, you had your own little catering business. So it wouldn't make much sense for us to dive directly into, let's say, the lawn care industry, because one, neither of us have any experience with special education. Number two, we don't have any experience with lawn care. So it at least makes a little bit of sense that we're going to the restaurant because we don't have experience in special education, but at least one of us has experience in the restaurant.
Yep. And then the one other thing I'd like to add to that is the restaurant may be the most difficult, but it is also probably the best because we have a plan to impact these individuals, but also the interaction with society. You know, we want to break down barriers and stereotypes, so the more interaction they can get, the more that they can build it and, you know, help us become a more united society.
And one final thing, sorry. We are very flexible and we are open to doing lots of pivots in our organization. So as we're going along and as we're seeing, okay, let's do this prototype thing, let's see how it goes. Okay, that thing needs to change, let's change that and let's pivot this direction. So if the restaurant isn't working out, we can easily still pivot and still impact our individuals through our organization.
Thank you. Our final team to present tonight is Surf and Serve. Surf and Serve started as a group of surfers eagerly pursuing their passion for serving others through a sport they love. Surfing isn't just a sport, but a tool that can reach people on a global scale and deliver a message of hope, compassion, love, and mercy. This team set out as a couple of college students in central Pennsylvania to do more than just catch a wave. They want to impact others with their sport as much as it has impacted them. Through the development of global partnerships and the utilization of pre-existing resources, they hope to connect people with opportunities to serve while investing in the projects on the ground. Welcome, Surf and Serve.
Hey, this is CJ Hobgood, professional surfer for the last 16 years. Surfing's always been a vehicle to meet people, experience the world, and ultimately help them where they're at.
It's super powerful. Just seeing the way the entire group works and the passion everybody has, the connection between surfing and the service, it's so unique.
My name is Joel Centeo. I'm a professional surfer from Haleiwa, Hawaii. I absolutely love what Surf and Serve is doing. They're incorporating what they love to do, and it's a great way to stay perseverant in our calling to Jesus Christ.
God bless. Okay, my friend.
This is Dan Cotton from Rio Missions, Panama. We love the Surf and Serve crew. They've helped us with our ministry here in Panama. They've left tangible results. And again, we're looking forward to the partnerships that we'll have in the future.
What's up, guys? I'm Cameron Gilmore.
I'm Todd Davis.
And I'm Paul Van Winkle.
And we're co-founders of Surf and Serve, an organization dedicated to providing unique travel experiences that impact lives and ultimately further God's kingdom. 3 years ago, I met these guys through the sport of surfing. Immediately, right as we began our journey together, Hurricane Sandy hit the East Coast hard. Immediately, we gathered a team together. We contacted a pastor in Central Jersey, and we went out for a weekend trip in January to help with the Hurricane Sandy relief efforts. It was after that weekend when we realized that surfing was so much more than just a sport for us. It was a tool that can be utilized to ultimately impact people and impact people's lives around us. So 3 years later to approximately where we are now, we have a long-term partner in Panama that we've already sent 2 trips to. Now, our most recent trip, which was in March of 2015, we led a group of 10 Messiah College students for a week-long mission trip. Now, I remember our partner when we were there talking to us, Jordan Guy of Santa Catalina, and we were pouring a cement floor for a couple there, and I remember him specifically turning to us and saying, there's not a lack of projects here in Panama. There's a lack of people willing to complete them. Now, that resonated with me because I know the school that I go to. I know the people that I surround myself with, and I know that there's not a lack of willing hands to serve. There is, however, a lack of opportunity and a lack of knowledge on how to get there. So that's where Surf and Serve steps in.
My friends, I'm excited to say that we've created a solution to this problem. We're offering a service that connects people who are passionate about traveling and serving with community partners and service projects around the world. Our service is unique in the fact that it embraces the relaxed surfer attitude, whereas not every moment of our trip is scripted. Our community partners will have an itinerary of potential projects and travel opportunities that they'll share with our participants in order to make a unique, individualized experience. Surf and Serve is also selling a merchandise line which serves two purposes. First purpose is to give everyone the opportunity to share part in our story by getting merchandise in their hands. Second purpose is to raise awareness of our brand and to create traffic to our website where people can find out about trip opportunities, community partners, and service opportunities. We're extremely excited to see how our service will connect travelers with products around the world, and we're confident that our service will be profitable and successful in the adventure travel industry.
All right, guys, so we're just going to real quick talk about a few numbers about the industry. All right, we're going to talk about the industry, our research, and our profitability. So the industry, the adventure travel industry right now is worth an estimated $263 billion, which is part of the $7.5 trillion global tourism industry. But what's cool is that segment, the adventure travel segment, is one of the most rapidly growing segments as opposed to leisure. Now, the surf industry is also exploding. It's projected to be worth $13.2 billion in 2017, which is more than twice what it was in 2008. So the markets we're going towards are rapidly expanding. We're excited about that. Now, as for our research, we just kind of wanted to test the water and see who would be interested in going on a trip with us. So we reached out to a few churches like Bethel Ministries in California, a few churches on the Jersey Shore, as well as students here at Messiah, other colleges, as well as high schools in the area. And we got really positive feedback. People loved the idea of combining passions with service opportunities. And so we are really excited to offer an opportunity for them to go where their money is going and do the projects with our partners and see a tangible result at the end. And that's resonated with everyone. Now, a quick cost breakdown for our Panama trip, which is currently in place. This is per individual on our website, going to be listed as $800 plus airfare. All that $800 is coming to us initially. $400 of it is going towards ministry expenses, which just means travel while you're down there, food while you're down there, housing while you're down there. That's for the team, and the partner's going to take care of all that, so you don't have to worry about it, all right? And that number is going to be set by the partner. $100 is going towards missionary expenses is what it's called, and that's just for the partner to help their efforts, to help their family, and continue their ministry. That number is also set by the partner for whatever meets their needs. $300 is coming back to Surf and Serve as revenue, which is offset by $11 there for a t-shirt for all of our participants, as well as it's offset by our operating costs.
Now, if we were to win the $5,000, we'd use it to pursue our mission at impacting lives and ultimately furthering God's kingdom here on earth. With a heavy emphasis placed on long-term relationships, we would use it as a means in travel to get to our new location where we would establish our new key Surf and Serve partner. Guys, this is much more than just a wave for us. This is adventure with a purpose. Thank you. Judges, any questions?
Thanks so much, guys. Great job. I love your collateral. You did an excellent job with that. I guess one of my first, easy clarifying questions is, are you a for-profit or nonprofit entity?
All right, so right now we're thinking to go as a for-profit through the advice of the IVC we've gotten, as well as just setting it up and getting it going. We want to form an LLC, low cost, limited liability, obviously, favorable tax positions. So to start, we're going for-profit. We're going to see what the reaction is. We're kind of concerned of people thinking a missions organization as for-profit, but we hope to be transparent enough so that people see we're putting our money to good uses instead of just trying to get more.
Okay, I have one comment for you guys to consider. So,
Yeah.
as someone that works in corporate America, there's I guess this new revolution going on in corporate America where they actually really want employees to spend their time volunteering. So my company and a number of Fortune 500 companies will allow their employees to have an entire week paid off of work to go volunteer, but it has to be for a nonprofit. So that's just something to consider when you think about your target market.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
And then I guess one of the other questions I have around your financial model is the number that you came up with for your partner. Like, how do you know that that's enough to kind of incentivize them to want to do this?
Yeah, well, the $100 up there is what our current two partners would ask for. So that seems low, and we thought that too, but for what's worth their time and for taking a week off to work with the trip, that's what they asked for. They said $100 from each participant would be great, and we don't want to make trip costs high for you. And so we'd work with everyone. If it's worth it for them to only do it for $300 or more, the trip cost is going to be higher, maybe less participation, but that's fine. We want to make it mutually beneficial. So it's all about working together.
Thank you. It was a very interesting idea. It actually even made me want to think about considering surfing, which which I hyperventilated when I went snorkeling. But what I was really interested in, and I don't think I saw it in your plan except for one brief discussion about the first service project that you did, but I'm really interested in the service projects that you will do when you're not surfing. So what kinds of things would you be doing with the team?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question, and honestly, it all is dependent on the situation and the location. What we found best, and there's a connotation out there about short-term missions, and the fact that we, as people from the States, are going in and implementing our views and how we think things work best onto other communities and cultures. But what we figured, and especially with collaborating with people who specifically work in these locations and live, like our partners live in Panama, we figure out their needs. We find their needs, and we allow them to target the trip towards their needs. So our past trip was for, we did water filtration actually in 2014, and our 2015 trip focused on pouring cement floors and distributing Bibles in the Kuna language, which is the indigenous language of Panama. So it does vary.
Love the idea. I'm not going to surf, but I love the idea. And again, I appreciated your business plan, and you were deliberate and intentional about advancing the kingdom of God, and you made that very clear in your plan. As a marketer, love the posters, love the T-shirts. I think they are absolutely a revenue stream for you. In addition to the trips and the tourism, there's a lot of, I'm the mother of 3 sons, there's a lot of young people who would buy these, and maybe that's a first step to go on one of your adventure, service trips as well. I did find, kudos on the social media, you have 468 Facebook fans, so good for coming out of the pool of good intentions and into really seeing how this resonates with all age groups. I found a Vimeo video online, which was at one of your earlier videos, and you didn't have anything in your business plan about that, but that told the story. It drew me in immediately, and I am probably not your age demographic. But again, when you draw in the business owners and the business people, we have influences, and then we can tell those around us, hey, this cool new adventure trip, and then it starts the ball rolling. So my question to you, which is actually to every participant this evening, you'll need to come down from the 50,000-foot view of marketing and really drill down to the tactics and strategy of how will you meet your revenue numbers besides social media and Facebook. Like that rarely moves a business into profitability. It looks good, and you'd have to, even all the Facebook fans, you'd have to figure out, will they buy? Will they book a trip?
Well, we do have, we did emphasize this in our plan, but one of our, I think, unique marketing strategies was tying in holistically the merchandise with the missions, right, and with the trips. And one of our features was, say you're a trip participant and you sign up for a trip, you get a special code that you can give out to family, friends, anybody that you know that can go to a website, buy merchandise for themselves, and then a percentage of what they buy directly comes off of the cost of their trip. So by buying merchandise, we find this as like a driving factor to the website, spreading brand awareness, and also allowing people that maybe if you don't surf or you're not going to surf or you don't have time in your schedule to go on a trip, you can still support these teams and these missions by taking part of our story with the merchandise.
In addition to that, we use the $250 that was given to us by the IVC to invest in a website developer that makes a really interactive, easy-to-use website. And we're continuing to partner with him. One thing he really wants to focus on is search engine optimization. And he's talking about other partners we can partner with for that. So with revenues and with prize money, we could stream our ideas into getting our website further out there so that people can more easily access where we are.
Good. Well done.
Wow. Wasn't that amazing? Let's give another round of applause to all the teams. All right, so now the time has come for the judges to do what they do best, and also for you guys to vote for your favorite team. And that's not up. So what you do is you text the code for whatever team you want to that number up on the screen, 650-600-9016. And the votes will come in. One second. And you have 5 minutes.
Okay, if everyone could take their seats, please. If everyone could take their seats, please. What a great night. We had over 300 text-to-votes, which was fantastic. So wonderful, wonderful participation. I am delighted to introduce to you President Kim Phipps, the president of Messiah College. She has been a dear, wonderful supporter of this endeavor since its inception. She herself is incredibly entrepreneurial. If you know about the transformation Messiah has been through and the great things that are happening here, it's really her entrepreneurial leadership style that has gotten us where we are. So I'm privileged to call President Phipps a colleague. President Phipps.
And we are going to announce the winners in just about 90 seconds, but part of my role is also to say thank you to a few people. The idea for this event tonight started with a conversation, I think, back in December, but actually for the last probably 3 years, Dylan Thomas and Ebby Degu have come to visit me on my open door days and talk with me about entrepreneurship, about something like this, and about ways that we could really nurture this sense of how to use business to make a difference in the lives of people. And so, first of all, I want to just thank those two students particularly. I think everybody knows who they are, but they have been great leaders. And I also want to express my gratitude to Peter Greer. Peter, as many of you know, is the CEO of Hope International, a Messiah alum, and now he's joined us this year as entrepreneur in residence at Messiah College. And he has really provided his mentorship and his wise counsel to this project. And so, Peter, thank you so much. And I also want to acknowledge Dean Caroline Maurer. Caroline joined Messiah 2 years ago. She is entrepreneurial. She is a change agent. She works incredibly hard, and she has been a wonderful supporter of this event. And she really cares about providing the best experiences for students. So Caroline, thank you. And to all of our judges, what an impressive panel of judges. Incredibly proud of our alums who are on this panel. Very grateful for each and every one of you, for friends of Messiah College, for friends of Peter and Brian who've joined us. Thanks for the time that you spent reviewing business plans and being here tonight and investing in Messiah College students. We appreciate it. And then finally, I want to thank Professor Brian Nejma. Brian is a gifted professor. I've heard that from students for many years. And Brian is a colleague who really encouraged me probably 8 or 9 years ago, early in my presidency, to dream big, to think about innovation, and to really be willing to help move the college forward. And Brian, I thank you for your friendship and your inspiration, but thank you for working so diligently with our students tonight and making this a reality. And all of you who are friends out there, you know, who are here cheering your friends on, I know we have parents in the audience and grandparents and all kinds of wonderful folks. Well, we're so happy to have you at Messiah. And we are so privileged to have your children, your brothers and sisters, special friends, whoever. Messiah students are special because they care deeply about making a difference in this world on behalf of Christ and to be change agents in this world because of Christ. And so thank you so much for being here. And now it is time to announce the winners. And first we will have the judges. I will ask them to reveal the names of the individuals who are the third place winners of the inaugural Messiah College Impact Venture Challenge.
The third place winner is Surf and Serve. Just a few words about this team. So the judges loved your business model. We thought that your idea of using merchandise to help fund trips was brilliant. We also think that Caroline has signed up for your first trip. So we wish you a hearty congratulations and hang 10.
Congratulations to Surf and Serve. And now I would invite the judges to reveal the second place winner of the inaugural Messiah College Impact Venture Challenge.
Can I get a drum roll? Drum roll? All right. And the number 2 winner is EMMS. So it was incredibly encouraging to all of us to hear about this application of your technology. Really, nothing more important in the developing world to have light and to have an opportunity to learn, to build vocation, to build an opportunity for families to come together in the evening, for children. So many impacts that you will make by this technology. So we were all very inspired by the applications, and really it was an innovative application that has incredible opportunity to scale across the developing world. So continue on with it, because it can make a difference in so many millions of people's lives. So thanks.
I think I'm as nervous as everybody else here, and I'm already a business owner. So first of all, I think it's wonderfully fitting that a business competition like a Shark Tank type event is in the chapel. I'm serious. I think every amazing idea comes from the Lord, so I think this is a win-win for everybody. Okay. The first place winner of the Impact Venture Challenge is Hometown Hope. The judges loved your business model, your business plan, your branding. As far as branding goes, all of your assets, where you had the logo, you have the hands and materials certificate, is just incredible. So you made an immediate emotional connection. And you're not only reclaiming wood and materials, you're reclaiming lives. So God bless you guys, all of you participants. It was amazing. Congratulations.
And now I'd like to invite Professor Nedgeman to come back up and close this evening's event. And we look forward to seeing all of you at the second Impact Venture Challenge next year.
Well, it's been a great night. Thanks to all the teams that participated and the countless hours that you put in. One thing I loved about tonight was the spiritual connection you made and the Christian basis for what you were doing became very clear, and I thought that was honoring to the Lord, so I really appreciated seeing that. But I thought every team did an incredible job, and so I wanted to thank everybody for coming and everybody that participated, and thanks again to President Phipps and to Dean Maurer for their support. Thank you to the judges, many of whom traveled afar to be here at their own expense, and so I really appreciated your time and energy tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Families want to come up and take a photo with your, if you want, teams want to come up with photo op with families, that's fine. Otherwise, you're dismissed.